The South African Navy is currently crisscrossing the country in search of potential divers. The national recruitment of divers is currently underway and it will end on the 30th of May. Let's speak now to Captain Prince Tshabalala for more on this recruitment process. Captain, thank you for your time and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you, and I just wonder, why is this recruitment process currently taking place? Is there a gap? Is there, a gap in terms of the amount of divers you need, or is this more of a normal recruitment process that you take regularly?
Let me explain that the National Defence Force regularly takes a number of recruitment drives in order to attract the youth to join the National Defence Force. So for the Navy divers, yes, we admit that there have been a lot of skills shortage recently as a result of a number of reasons, and amongst them is that our divers are in demand all over the world because of the highly skills that they possess, and therefore they are in demand. Therefore, we were enabled by the Chief of SNDF and the Chief of the South African Navy, Vice Admiral Mondeli Buisi, to undertake this recruitment drive, especially to mobilize and empower ourselves to get more divers in order to join our ranks. We do this as a separate recruitment drive because as diving is very intimate and much more higher in terms of the training. So we normally do that selectively and basically put our potential recruits through a number of tests, looking at particularly at swimming capability as a key requisite criteria that we are looking for.
Right.
So we are embarking in this campaign looking for those young men and women who are in possession of these skills so that we can train them more in advanced diving training.
Absolutely. We'll get into the criteria in just a moment, Captain, but I mean, I'm sure the functions of divers is quite critical to the operations and missions of the SANDF. What do those include?
Yes, those include wreckage salvaging, and as well as doing the underwater surveying, welding operations, search and rescue. There's quite a number of them. First and foremost, these are military divers. These are not your normal divers, and so they must be able to fight underwater as well with the enemy divers, and then also be trained in other combat work that we do, such as demolition and explosive. So they are well versatile in terms of their capabilities, but they carry deep diving, ocean diving as well, and as well as waterways diving. They are able to do that. You'll remember in Mozambique a few years back with the flooding, it was our Navy divers that came into the limelight because they've managed to rescue over 100 of our people in Mozambique. And then these are the same divers that we have seen as well during a wreckage in the Tanzanian waters when one of their ships sank with over 100 people. It was these divers that were called upon by the nation to go to Tanzania to rescue a number of people. They had to make sure that all these bodies are recovered. So our divers are quite versatile indeed.
I suppose that's why you emphasized on young men and women, because I said let's pause on the age in case the old divers are thinking, why are we discriminated against? But it's quite important that we make it clear what the criteria is looking at. Take me through the selection process. I'm sure quite vigorous as well in terms of looking for the right people to occupy the job. So what does that criteria then include?
The criteria include obviously the ability to swim. It's one of the major criteria that we are looking at. Someone needs to be well exposed and not to be phobic in terms of diving and as well as swimming. And you must be able to use certain equipment, specialized equipment, as diving is quite a risky job, and so we have to test you whether are you able to adapt, and you must have no medical restrictions as well, so that you're able to undertake this job. So the military part of it is obviously going to start with our normal, which is applicable to all members of the National Defence Force, our 6 months diving training, 6 months military training, which is a compulsory introduction training. And then after that, we will do the specialized diving training. There are various courses. The basic one, which commences at 3 months, which is normally the fleet diving course, and then it carries on with another advanced courses such as deep diving as well.
Yeah, and
so
I understand
which
that
takes
also,
about almost
Captain,
9 months.
Yeah, so it takes some time. It's not
Yes.
just an overnight process that you have to go through.
Yes.
But also with regards to the selection process, I understand there are water activities as well as physical activities
Yes.
that the candidates will have to go through.
Definitely. Physical ability is one of the major criteria that we are looking for. Our divers have to be able to be well physically fit,
Right.
in terms of able to do those push-ups and able to do a number of few kilometer shackle swimming, where we test your endurance particularly. So we normally, for the selection, we use our swimming pools, so we see how these divers carry themselves, and then will be subjected to command and control through vigorous military training exercises,
Yeah.
which are mainly based on physical strength. We are not discriminating, as I indicated, to women. There have been a lot of women divers within
Right.
our ranks, and some of them have went to qualify as diving instructors. So we are very proud that we don't do gender discrimination as well.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yes.
And I also understand that, I mean, you're also not focusing on a particular area. You will be going around the country,
Yes.
literally looking for the best candidates for the job. The deadline, I understand, being the 30th of May,
Yes.
when you'd be last allowed or qualified to I suppose, go through the process. But I mean, you've mentioned the physical aspect, the water activities, Captain. But I'm just wondering, in terms of mentality, what kind of a mindset are you looking for with a potential candidate looking for, going through this kind of a job?
As in other military operations, somebody who would be qualified as a combat diver needs first to have a proper personal discipline,
Yeah.
to be able to listen to commands, because you are working with a dangerous equipment and weapons as well. So you'll have to follow a very rigorous testing, psychometry as well. We do that psychometry evaluation to test whether you are able to endure hardship,
Yeah.
and as well as physical endurance. But mainly we would look at also, because we are looking for certain skills. Our divers has to have maths and science as well, because when you go down underwater, you are expected to be able to calculate the oxygen gas that you will be inhaling, and also to be able to calculate how much is left of that oxygen,
Yeah.
and able to work with advanced equipment that sometimes needs a number of calculations, such as explosive the equipment. So there's quite a number of tests that we have to do, but first and foremost, personal discipline, military discipline is one of the main criteria that you will be able to evaluate.
I can imagine also patriotism, the will to serve
Patriotism
your country.
is fundamental to
Absolutely.
become a soldier
Yeah.
in the National Defence Force. Adherence to the code of conduct, which is very strict, that sets a criteria how you must live amongst the community and be able to project yourself as a proper discipline, as a Navy member and a soldier as well.
Yeah. Well, of course, I wish you all the best of luck, Captain, as you continue to look for those amazing candidates. The 30th of May, being the cut-off date. You'll be around the country, various provinces,
Yes.
from Limpopo all the way to the Western Cape, looking for them. And I wish you all the best as you look for those divers. Thank you so much, Captain, for joining us right here on All Angles. Captain Prince Tshabalala from the SA Navy. And if you are keen and interested, listen, perhaps you might want to look out more information of all the venues with which will be around the country where they will be looking for you. These venues include, swimming venues around the country. You could list them up and look for them. And if you think that you are that candidate that is willing to serve as a patriot of this country, then they, of course, the SA Navy looking for you.